We're going over the 9 most common factual inaccuracies, and I'm going to show you how to use them to get your deletions. Now, make sure that you come to the channel tomorrow because we're going over different negative item types, and I'm going to show you how they differentiate from one another and how to use those to get your results. And if you want to learn how to do factual based disputes, just head right over to vault.my740.com. Check out all of these awesome resources, including the subscriber hub, which is free. Or if you want to see if I could do this for you, head over to my740.com. All right, so let's jump right into this. Okay, so we're going to go over missing creditor name and account number, incorrect balances, incorrect credit limits, collections with a credit limit, late payments after closed, undated late payments, incorrect account types, date of last activity, and date verified discrepancies. Okay, these are going to be on your credit report and you're going to likely get results from disputing these. Okay, so let's start with Module 1, most common errors and how to use them to get your deletions or corrections. And obviously we're going over inaccuracies for factual based credit sweeps. Okay, so missing creditor name and account number. Now this is probably the least potent of factual errors to look for, but if you have nothing else to use, then you can use this. Now example dispute reason would be this listing is incomplete. It's missing the date of last payment. Delete it. The credit bureaus may just correct and update it. I mean, obviously that happens. And if it does happen, you should get the docs from the creditor to verify the bureau updated correctly. And in some cases, the creditor will have no record of the account and the bureau didn't actually update anything because obviously their job is to get rid of you and our job is to continue disputing, use the information we have available to us on the credit report and get our results. So if the creditor states that there's no record, use the letter to get a deletion, okay? Because remember, anything that we have that can be used as proof, we need to use it. That means transactions and statements and credit reports and everything. Incorrect balances. Now, this is the most common with collections because some, and yes, I know there's a typo there, debt collectors want to inflict as much damage as possible to the consumer's credit score in order to coerce them into paying. So you're going to look for balances that are higher than the high balance. Obviously, that's a mathematical impossibility, but it happens. And if the account has been sold or transferred to another lender or collector, the balance on the original account should be 0, okay? If the account is a paid charge-off or paid collection is being reported correctly, it may not be smart or necessary to try to remove it. Now remember, removing neutral items can sometimes cause the consumer's credit score to drop. So if positive and transferred are sold, but the original still showing open with 0 balance and nothing derogatory, leave it alone. And yes, I know I just had something go off on my computer. I apologize. All right, incorrect credit limits. Banks will often not report the actual credit limits, but will instead use the highest balance owed as the credit limit. So a $10,000 card that only has a $300 charge on it will show a $300 limit. And Capital One and Barclays are notorious for this. High utilization. This can make it look like a consumer is using a lot more of their available credit than they actually are. And mail the statements. Try mailing a copy of the statement to the bureaus and ask for them to complete reporting of the limit. Now, here's the reason. It is to prevent consumers from building up their credit scores and getting additional credit at lower interest rates. You may not believe me, but when you go and you look into this yourself, you're going to see that everything is built to be against you, okay? This helps creditors keep a larger percentage of consumers stuck in the subprime market. And we just went over that in the cheat sheet. Go back and watch that video. More profit because it keeps away lower interest competition, okay? If this does not work, charge the card up to the max without going over the limit and then properly pay it back. This is the indirect tactic that I went over in the indirect dispute tactics series that you can find in my playlist, okay? Collections with a credit limit. Limit? How can there be a collection with a limit? That makes absolutely no sense. Damage may inflict more damage to the score because not only does the data sign factor into the scoring, but the credit limit may also, okay? As for the deletion based on inaccurate reporting of limit on a collection, there should be no limit, there should be no past due, there should be no late payments. It's a collection. How do you have that on a collection? Because, hello, the definition of factual disputing is where you take the facts, F-A-C-T-S, reported by the bureaus, creditors, and collectors, and dispute the inaccuracies backed by these facts to support your argument, okay? That is a factual dispute for a credit sweep. Okay, we're not talking about the legal identity theft method, all right? Late payments after the account was closed. If the account is closed or charged off, there should be no delinquencies after the close date or after the account was charged off if you don't know what the close date was. If the close or charged off date is not listed on your report, do what I just said. Look to see If the account, was it like in May that it was charged off? Okay, we'll say that that's when it was closed. Or you can call or write the creditor and get it. Supporting docs can mean the difference between a deletion or correction. With or without documentation, factually disputing the late payments after the close date is something that can get you that result. Also, keep your eye out for delinquencies for zero and incorrect notations like 4506 charged off, 123 past due, as opposed to just a $123 balance. Okay. Undated late payments. Look for undated late payments, and if there's no date, how do you really know that they're accurate? You don't, because otherwise they'd have a date, right? Hello. Write the bureau and ask for something like, please provide an itemized list of the dates of all late payments for account numbers 12345 XXX00, whatever. Contact the creditor and get documented late payment dates and make sure they match. And when I did write this, I was typing quickly so that I could make my presentation, so I apologize for these typos, but guess what? We're reading it together, so that's okay. If the lates are after the close date, again, ask for the deletion of the item with the bureaus. You always want to let them know the outcome that you are looking for, okay? Incorrect account types. Another common reporting mystery is when a charge-off is an open account. How can it be open if it's charged off? Charge-off means it was reported as a loss. And it's impossible for a charge-off to be an open account. It's been reported as a loss, and the account must first be closed to become a charge-off. This can be disputed for removal by stating that the account is listed as an open charge-off and requires deletion for inaccuracy. Now, what's your biggest ammo? I'm glad that you asked, because this is the smoking gun and can be used to remove charge-offs, collections, foreclosures, repossessions, and more. And it is the date of last activity. If you know anything about me and you know how I dispute, you know how factual based disputes work, then you know that that is at the top of the hierarchy. And this is a timestamp of when the account was last permanently delinquent. So let's just say that the DOLA is January 2000. Most items will stay on your report for 7 years or until January 2007. However, this date can change if the date is re-aged or moved forward. So if you find re-aging, which is incorrect reporting, you can always ask for correction. Now, another huge smoking gun is the failure to investigate. Let me show you what I mean. Date updated or verified discrepancies. So when an item comes back as verified, you don't always believe it. Credit bureau employees are under tremendous pressure to finish disputes quickly, which can result in numerous issues and errors in regards to verification and investigation of disputes. So names. All three bureaus have a different name for this, okay? Experian calls it the date verified, Equifax calls it the item as of date reported, and TransUnion calls it the date updated. Verification. Whenever an item comes back as verified as accurate, these dates should reflect the month and year in which the verification was done. And many times, these dates don't even change and should if the bureaus properly verified the item. I use this all the time. So here's an example. You dispute an account in July 2007 and ask for a deletion. The date updated is listed as March 2006. The bureau's investigation verifies the item as accurate. The DU remains March 2006. Nothing was updated and there was probably no real investigation on that item. And therefore, when you follow up, you're going to ask for the deletion. So you would say something like, on date, I disputed creditor and account number. You verified the item as accurate. However, the date updated did not change. No investigation was actually done. I'm requesting deletion based upon the fact that you did not follow your procedures as outlined in the FCRA. All right. Incorrect reporting. And this is from the Bennett testimony. I also see a large number of pure inaccuracy cases, those in which an individual item within a credit report is inaccurate. These types of problems, though lacking the glamour and intrigue of identity theft, are far more common and just as damaging. Okay, so if you're not really sure what to do at this point or where to find more resources, head over to, just like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, vault.my740.com. Or if you're looking for the free resources, go to hub.my740.com. And I've got over 500 videos now. If you include my unlisted videos and my members only videos, there's actually 700. So make sure to subscribe, and you'd be doing that right here on YouTube at youtube.com/expertcreditsweeps. And then obviously, if you want to see if I can do this for you, head over to my740.com. Schedule that call with me and I will see if I can help. You're just going to click on this top one right here where it says start here and grab any date and time. All right, so that is it for tonight. I hope you have a great one tomorrow. Like I said, we're going to go over some negative item types, and that is it as far as the 9 common inaccuracies for your credit sweeps.